The seer also warned that anyone who would try to help Yemi will not only be tormented by the angry spirit, but will be met with the same fate as Yemi, which was death. Once upon a time, there lived a woman named Yemi. Yemi lived with her husband and 3 sisters in a very small village. Her husband abandoned her when she fell terribly ill and was accused of being a witch who killed her only brother. It all began many years ago when Yemi was still a successful businesswoman, well known around the village for her craft. Her only brother mysteriously fell sick, and Yemi did all she could to save his life. She spent almost all her savings looking after her sick brother, who later died, leaving his wife and children behind. Yemi, being so kind-hearted and considerate, took on the responsibility of her late brother's wife and children. She took care of all their needs as her business continued to thrive. In fact, Yemi's business began to do far better than it had ever done before, as Yemi not only made huge sales, but she also garnered great popularity in the village. Her late brother's wife, Ibukun, was her childhood friend who got married to her brother many years ago. Ibukun and Yemi have been close friends for years, and when Yemi's brother died, Yemi decided to look after Ibukun and her 3 children. They all lived peacefully until one day when Yemi fell terribly ill. She was down with an ailment that no one could understand. Several herbalists were consulted, but none of them were able to understand what was wrong with Yemi. Her husband then decided to consult a seer about his wife's sickness, and the seer revealed to him that Yemi was responsible for her late brother's death. The seer told Yemi's husband that his wife used witchcraft to kill her only brother to secure wealth for herself and was being tormented by her deceased brother's angry spirit. The seer also warned that anyone who would try to help Yemi will not only be tormented by the angry spirit, but will be met with the same fate as Yemi, which was death. On hearing this, everyone abandoned Yemi, including her husband and her late brother's wife, Ibukun. Even 2 of Yemi's sisters abandoned her, as they all called her a wicked witch who killed their only brother for money. Only her youngest sister, Folu, stayed back to look after Yemi. News of this spread around the village, and the villagers began to avoid Yemi and her sister Folu like a plague. Unable to provide for her sister, Folu decided to start hawking farm produce around the village, but no one agreed to patronize her as they feared being tormented by the angry spirit. Folu told to look after her sick sister, whose condition worsened by the day. She barely got enough sleep at night because of how restless her sister became once it was nightfall. One morning, this was many months later, Folu walked to her late brother's graveside and began to cry. She asked why his spirit had to torment their sister Yemi, forgetting all the good things she did for him when he was still alive. Folu, with tears in her eyes, reminded her brother that Yemi was his sister, whom he once loved dearly. She pleaded with him, saying that if he ever loved Yemi, then he should forgive her and take away the strange sickness that no one had been able to cure. As Folu was crying, she felt a hand touch her shoulder. She turned and saw a young handsome man who asked her why she was crying. Folu wiped the tears off her face frantically as she explained everything to the young man. The young man then smiled and requested to see her sick sister. They walked for a few minutes and arrived Folu's sister's hut. The young man looked at Yemi, who was on the brink of death. He placed his hands on Yemi's forehead and told Folu to go to the village stream once the sun had gone down to fetch some water in a calabash, and that she should give her sister some of the water to drink, and the remaining she should use and wash her sister's face 3 times. The young man then told Folu to do as he had instructed and that her sister would be well again. Folu looked at the young man and asked who he was, and the young man revealed that many years ago, her sister Yemi saved his life when he almost drowned in the village river. He was a very powerful healer in the neighboring village who heard of Yemi's condition and remembered how she saved him when he almost drowned. So, he decided to return the favor by healing Yemi of the strange illness. Folu waited till when the sun went down as she fetched some water from the stream. She returned and gave the water to her sister to drink, and the rest she used to wash her sister's face 3 times. To her greatest surprise, Folu noticed that her sister's health began to improve. As the days went by, Yemi fully regained her health, and this shocked the villagers who never believed that she would ever survive the strange illness. One evening, Folu and Yemi were home when Yemi's 2 sisters who went away returned with tears in their eyes. They apologized to their sister Yemi for how horribly they treated her and for ever believing that she was a witch. They revealed how Ibukun, their late brother's wife, confessed that she was the one behind all that had been happening to Yemi. Ibukun revealed how she was jealous of Yemi and wanted to take over Yemi's life. She confessed to also killing her husband, their brother, as she wanted to get married to Yemi's own husband. She also revealed how she visited a juju man to inflict a weird sickness on Yemi as a way of convincing Yemi's husband that his wife was a witch. She also connived with the fake seer who lied to Yemi's husband that his wife was responsible for the death of her only brother and was being punished by his angry spirit. Ibukun did this to tear Yemi's marriage apart and to also separate Yemi from her sisters. Everything was going as planned as Ibukun ended up marrying Yemi's husband when they all went away. It was not until one evening when Ibukun suddenly became restless and began to confess all the horrible things that she had done. That was when everyone realized that they had been dining with the devil all along. Yemi's sisters were so broken as they pleaded with Yemi for forgiveness. Yemi forgave her sisters and was glad to see them again. She could not believe that Ibukun, her deceased brother's wife, who she took like her own sister, would be so callous as to do such a horrible thing to her. Yemi's husband also returned and asked for his wife's forgiveness, and Yemi forgave him and accepted him back into her life. They all learned the importance of not succumbing to baseless rumors and accusations. So, Yemi's family, once torn apart by betrayal and accusations, found strength in forgiveness and unity. The lesson to be learned from this story is that oftentimes it is destructive to blindly believe in accusations without evidence. We should learn not to follow the bandwagon and pass judgment without seeking the truth. Also, we should learn to always forgive when people wrong us, because harboring resentment only perpetuates suffering, as true healing comes when we open our hearts to forgiveness. I hope you enjoyed the story. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It helps us grow our channel. I'll see you in our next story. Bye.